If you're a pro athlete or an upwardly mobile man who is making money out here, this might be one of the most important videos you ever watch.
One of the women who accused me of sexual assault just got indicted for committing felony fraud against me. Imagine that. Now, let me catch up to speed. In the last 3 years, 2 women have taken legal action against me. Lindsay Hill started all of this. You may remember her from this video as the girl who set me up and lied to the world in an attempt to take my money.
Posted on
Today,
Snapchat.
the only other one, Darcy Adana Asimonu, has been criminally indicted for committing felony fraud against me and another man. So now she's facing up to 16 years in prison. Her claims are even more absurd than Lindsay's were, so here's some of the details. We had one plain sexual encounter in December of 2020. Nothing that could be considered remotely rough. She initiated it, but don't take my word for it. Take hers. This is a picture and text message she sent me the next morning, explaining why she came on to me. And for months afterwards, she repeatedly requested to sleep with me again. For example, this text from January 7th, 2021. At one point, she even requested a sample of my sperm so she could have my child whenever she wanted to in the future. Now, it's hard to keep track, but she's made at least 4 7-figure demands over the last few years.
Oh my God.
More than a year after the one time we slept together, and only after Lindsay Hill made up her false allegations, Adana retained a lawyer. She then demanded $3.6 million and claimed I forced her to have an abortion, leaving her emotionally devastated and irretrievably damaged by it. But here's the thing, she never had an abortion because she was never even pregnant, and that's corroborated by her own medical records. When I refused to pay her the $3.6 million she was asking for, she made up a bogus sexual assault claim and filed a civil suit against me. In that version of her story, she claimed, for the first time by the way, that there was non-consensual sex, but her texts from the next morning show what actually happened. Remember this text in which she explains why she came on to me?
In females, for example, hormones present at ovulation can drive a woman to choose a cocky, confident man with a slight stubble and more masculine features. Men can sniff out an ovulating woman just by smelling her t-shirt. The woman appear to prefer the smell of a man with dissimilar genes, which could give her a boost up the evolutionary ladder.
In which she explains why she came on to me?
Then she says, this sounds a lot different than her on the dating show. I guess you smelled cocky and confident with slight stubble. I did make that comment that your shoulders look broad and are strong. My feminine lenses were on.
She also claims that instead of an abortion, she actually had a miscarriage, but that's impossible, of course, because again, she was never even pregnant. We now have emails between her and the first 2 law firms that dropped her, in which they acknowledge they never had any evidence to support her claims, but they'll try to get my money anyway.
This is regarding a phone call. To confirm without proof of the abortion or even the date of the abortion, we cannot continue to represent you. We urge you to consult with other attorneys who may have different standards. Damn. They were saying we actually have some type of standards in our line of work. We don't just deal with women that are out for a bag. I bet you want that briefcase now. It's great. I appreciate your time and input today, and I'm glad we can agree to $750K to $3.6 million. That's a wide gap as a settlement bracket. As explained on the phone, we will start high and understand the lowest you will accept to settle is $750K. So they were going for a settlement first and foremost. They didn't even care about guilt or innocence. They just wanted the settlement. This is how she was setting it up. Have a beautiful day, Adana.
I then shared an audio recording I have in which Adana contradicts her own claims and asks me for money. In the emails, her lawyers agreed that that's insurmountable evidence.
As your legal counsel, we have all agreed that the recording is detrimental to your case to the point that we will very likely not be able to continue representation of you on this matter. We are requesting a copy of the recording to verify the authenticity. I know this is difficult news, but without the medical records of your abortion and a recording like this, this is what we feel is insurmountable. Hugs.
Inform Adana that they can no longer represent her unless she can provide documentation or proof of her claims. Of course, she couldn't do that, so the law firm urged her to consult other law firms with different standards. Now, Adana has filed more than 10 police reports claiming sexual assault or harassment against other men, including at least one other professional athlete. But after the Scottsdale police completed their investigation into her claim against me, she's the one being indicted for felony fraud. And not just against me, against another man as well. She made up bogus sexual assault claims and attempted to extort him too. And it gets worse. In my lawsuit against her, we subpoenaed a witness whom she knew for relevant documents to use in our case. And when she found out, she immediately made sexual assault claims against him too. Her MO is clear. Lie to men to get their money, extort them if she must, and when they refuse to pay, stop paying or stop giving her what she wants, go to the police, accuse them of sexual assault,
Yep.
and file a civil suit against them to retaliate.
We'll just play in the book.
And just so no one can say, well, he still has 2 other accusers. Just because the first 2 are complete frauds doesn't mean the others are. Here's a couple facts about them. They both had lawyers first demand in excess of $3 million to not go public. In both cases, only after I refused to pay any sum of money did their lawyers make anonymous claims in the media. They both had the opportunity to file a criminal complaint against me. Neither of them did. They both had the opportunity to file a civil suit against me. Neither of them did. They both had the opportunity to participate in Lindsay Hill's civil suit against me. They could have even done so anonymously. They both refused. One of them even submitted a statement to the court stating that she never made public accusations against me. The other refused to participate so vehemently that Lindsay Hill took legal action against her, trying to force her to participate. She still refused.
He's saying the first chick that accused him, that got the most publicity, that ended up getting him kicked off the team, she actually was going to file suit against one of the girls for not cooperating with what she was doing in her lawsuit. Is that legal? Like, that's got to be some type of conspiracy charge. You know what I mean? Like, that in itself, like, to put pressure on somebody that would be a witness on your side, you're going to file a suit against them. That's crazy to me. It's crazy. But a lot of these women out here, a lot of these gold digger chicks are getting away with, like, literally. Like, the fact that this is just the first time we're hearing that Adana is the first one that might potentially go to jail for deceiving and for felony fraud and extortion. You know, like, that's why I say it's groundbreaking.
Opportunity to testify under penalty of perjury. Neither of them did. One can only wonder why. Perhaps it's because all their claims against me are lies. Now, it's been 2 years since these women and their lawyers attempted to weaponize anonymous claims in the media against me to take my money. I addressed them at the time, and as far as I'm concerned, it's in the past. But if there comes a time in the future where I need to defend myself further, I will not hesitate to do so. For now, there's no reason to speak further on this topic, though, because outside of Adana, who's now been indicted with felony fraud, there are no claims against me, no ongoing investigations, and no outstanding lawsuits. At this point, I'm not sure what else I can possibly do to prove my innocence in all this. I did not do what I was accused of. And every institution that our society is entrusted to rule on issues like these, like courts, judges, law enforcement officers, prosecutors, they all agree with me. They've rejected every single claim made against me, even going as far as charging one of my accusers with a felony. If any evidence of any of these claims actually existed, I would have been charged, or at the very least arrested. But that never happened. What else do I have to do to prove that this entire situation has been a massive lie? This is insane. At what point do I get to go back to work and continue earning a living?
Wow. You see what I'm saying? This is a very rough position to be in. I would not want to be him right now. You know, the fact that in a moment as a public figure, you can be all of your dreams, all of your wishes, your years of work from Little League up to now could be dashed away by a couple accusations. Now, I will say this, he has to take responsibility for his proclivities, you know, engaging in sadomasochism and, you know, rough, basically it puts him in this position because it opens him up to that. So that's what I said in the last video. I'll say it again, fellas, you can't open yourself up to that type of liability. I don't care what she says. She's most likely going to flip on you once it comes down. Like I said, if it's contractually obligated or she's a professional, then maybe there's a way to get around that. But, you know, this is kind of what he has to go through because he made that decision, or that is something he engaged in. So yeah, keep your head on a swivel, guys. You know, make sure that you all are getting away from these broke chicks that want to just come and take your money, because she told the one dude on the Pop the Balloon show that she was an entrepreneur, and she tried to talk down on him and talk about his watch wasn't working. But meanwhile, she's doing this. And this is the rub here. We got to realize, you got to be able to see these women and read them out of the pack and see exactly who this woman is. Get to know her before you really start engaging, you know, in any type of meaningful sexual relationship. before you start inviting her into your home, you know, like all these things. But, you know, you got to learn the hard way sometimes. Either way, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. I got some big plans and I want you all to be a part of them. So make sure you sign up for that newsletter, please. Link is in the description. This is Faucette Media.